Hey, welcome to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it. Hey, I wanted to touch base and let you know a great statement that came out from the VFW, so Veterans of Foreign Wars, regarding that Washington Post disaster of an opinion article on basically defunding the VA. So I want to just jump into it, read it to you so you're aware of the information and the fight that has now started. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Hit the thumbs up for me, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff. I really appreciate it. So this is on the VFW site. The Washington Post Editorial Board wants veterans to forfeit earned benefits. VFW Executive Director Ryan Gallucci, and this is his quote, "If the editorial board is so worried about moral responsibility, maybe they should pick up a weapon and stand a post." What a great organization, by the way. All right. Yesterday, the Washington Post Editorial Board suggested America balance its budget on the backs of veterans. The VFW has heard these tired arguments before, but was shocked to see them endorsed by an institution like the Washington Post. According to their public bios, none of the 10 members of the Washington Post Editorial Board have spent a single minute serving this country in uniform, unlike those who have earned the benefits the board quickly dismisses as charity and essentially a waste of public money. With which these individuals enthusiastically sign their names to criticize the care and benefits our service members earn, while enjoying the freedoms our service members defend, should bring shame upon them as both journalists for a once revered institution like the Washington Post, and as fellow Americans. The lazy opinion piece from the Washington Post Editorial Board is a recycled compilation of anti-veteran talking points against which the VFW has fought for years. The VFW would have welcomed the opportunity to refute these unjustifiable points if approached to do so. Yet those of us who represent millions of veterans are now forced to react to hatchet journalism. Oh, well said. Had the elitist editorial board chosen to reach out to anyone who assists veterans in navigating these hard-earned benefits, they may have learned about the true hidden cost of more than 20 years of war, and why our nation's commitment to care for both the visible and invisible wounds of war is crucial to our long-term national interests. If the Post's esteemed editorial board wants to take a shot at veterans' benefits, they should at least provide original thoughts and ideas, and not the scraps of other writers or proposals that the VFW dismantles on a regular basis. Veterans' benefits cost more than they did in years past. That is the price of war. It is also the price of peace and the price of defending misguided free speech. Such a paradox for those of us who swore to defend the very Constitution that protects such vitriol. However, this cost is not only a reflection of more Americans surviving the battlefield, but it is also our country recognizing the inherent danger of military service. Last year, the Honoring Our Pact Act rightfully expanded toxic exposure benefits to veterans who have suffered debilitating illnesses, some dating all the way back to the 1950s. Does the Washington Post Editorial Board prefer these veterans, their families, their survivors, continue to suffer in silence as they have for years? Should those who defend the very institution and profession that printed these words continue to suffer and die because it might be too expensive? It is laughable that the employees of one of the richest individuals in the world have the audacity to suggest disabled veterans should be the persons responsible for balancing the federal budget, instead of their wealthy billionaire benefactors who notoriously skirt their tax liabilities. You would think with, I love it, you would think with all the collective Ivy League degrees held by the Washington Post Editorial Board, they would understand basic economics. Instead, they recommend that veterans be subjected to means tests or outright forfeit their earned benefits if they manage to constructively cope with these life-altering disabilities. Sadly, it seems those degrees only serve to inspire the editorial board to take the easy way out and renege on promises made to veterans, their family members, and survivors. If the editorial board is so worried about moral responsibility, maybe they should pick up a weapon and stand a post. So that's VFW, Veterans of Foreign Wars. Great organization, outstanding. Definitely one of the top organizations out there, leaning forward and working on legislation for all of us veterans. And it is, in my opinion, absolutely crucial that we, as a veteran community, support the veteran organizations by becoming a member of one or more of them. I'm not saying you need to go to every meeting. I'm not saying you need to go to any meeting. But simply becoming a member puts a little bit of money into the kitty so that way they can have their lobbyists at Capitol Hill go pound on some desks for us. I'll tell you, I've signed up for probably 8-ish different organizations for that fact alone. Just basically, I look at it as hey, this is my way of ensuring that I'm supporting the causes for not just myself, but for all veterans, right? And for my son, who's in the Air Force and someday will be a veteran. And, it's one of those things where unless we're going to go do it ourselves, right? Champion, support, pound the desk, lobby. If we do it ourselves, that's great. But if we can't, then have an organization do it. And by signing up, you're one more person on the roll, right? So if 30,000 extra people sign up, that's 30 more thousand people that are being represented by the organization as they're stomping their feet and pounding their fists to get things done. So with that, I'll go ahead and end it there. Great article by the VFW as a response to the Washington Post garbage opinion piece. So thanks again. I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.